Hello, my dear listeners. I am Moana, and today I find myself in an incredibly difficult situation, one that leaves me feeling utterly alone and deeply confused. I have been struggling with something in my relationship, and I truly feel like I have no one I can confide in, not even my closest friends or my own parents. I am so embarrassed and ashamed to admit what has been happening, but I desperately need your perspective to navigate this painful dilemma. My boyfriend, a man I thought I knew and trusted completely, has been secretly taking money from my small business without my permission. The first time this happened, it blindsided me. He came to me after the fact and explained that he needed to move the money into his account for our shared house expenses. I wanted to believe him, to keep the peace, so I did not press the issue. I stayed quiet, swallowing my concerns, hoping it was a one-time mistake. Eventually, after about a month, he did put the money back, but the unsettling feeling lingered, a tiny crack in the foundation of our trust. Later, I discovered he had not actually used the money for house expenses at all. He had simply spent it. This revelation hurt me deeply, making me question his honesty. Prior to any of this, we had been talking seriously about buying a house together, building a future. I had suggested to him that perhaps he could pick up a second job to help us save more quickly, to reach our dreams sooner. His response was immediate and firm. He refused, stating he would never do that. So I dropped the topic, respecting his wishes, even if I did not entirely understand them. Recently, hoping to involve him more in my life and our shared future, I invited him to help me with my small business. I create beautiful bouquets, pouring my heart and soul into each arrangement. I offered to split all the profits with him, thinking it would be a wonderful way for us to work together, to grow something of our own. I was so excited about this new venture, dreaming of what we could achieve as a team. But then, the unthinkable happened again. Not long after he started helping, I discovered he had taken all of the money, not just his share, but every single penny, including my half, and done so without telling me a word. My stomach dropped. When I confronted him, trying to keep my voice calm despite the rising panic in my chest, he became incredibly defensive. He retorted that he needed the money for the house and was very rude about it, making me feel as though I was completely out of line for even questioning him. The only reason I even noticed the theft was because the numbers simply were not adding up in my records. It was a glaring discrepancy that I could not ignore. I had explicitly asked him before not to use the business money without my permission, emphasizing how important it was to our shared future and my financial independence. But he had brushed it off, laughing like it was not a serious request. Now he had done it again, not just once, but twice, taking advantage of my trust and my hard work. When I brought it up to him this second time, hoping for some sign of remorse, some understanding of the gravity of his actions, he showed absolutely no regret. Instead, he gave me the silent treatment, completely shutting down, leaving me feeling even more isolated and hurt. What truly pains me the most is that if he had simply asked me, if he had approached me honestly about his needs, I would have lent him the money without hesitation. I would have found a way to support him, because that is what partners do. Instead, he chose to be sneaky, dismissive, and worst of all, he made me feel like I was the one in the wrong for daring to question his actions. It is a deeply humiliating and confusing position to be in. He is essentially treating my hard-earned business money as some sort of personal credit card for his own life, all without my permission or even a simple conversation. The first time he took money, he asked after the fact and paid it back within a month. The second time, after I relentlessly pressed him about it, he paid it back within 48 hours. But the pattern is clear, and the disrespect is undeniable. I have not breathed a word about this to anyone, not even to my parents, because I am so deeply embarrassed and ashamed. How can I explain that my boyfriend, the man I plan to build a future with, is stealing from me, but a part of me, a very strong part, desperately wants to call his mother. I hope that she might be able to talk some sense into him, to help him understand the seriousness of his actions and the damage he is causing. The problem is, I know, with absolute certainty, that he will see this as me embarrassing him, as a profound act of disrespect for involving his mother in what he calls our private matters. So I turn to you, my listeners, for guidance. Am I wrong for wanting to tell my boyfriend's mother that her son has been stealing from my business? Am I a bad person for considering this step? Or is it a desperate measure to save myself and my future from a man who seems incapable of honesty and respect? What would you do in my situation